Oh, well, my memory isn't what it used to be, but there were special moments when I started discovering that these cars had some history, that both of them had been hill climbed. And in fact, in 1958, I believe at Roosevelt, both these cars were entered in a hill climb, and this one, driven by Hans Stuck Sr., took first in class. A Mercedes-Benz took second, and Helmut Glerkler drove that one to third place. So they competed against each other. It's exciting to find out that there's something different or special about the car, in the ownership or in that it was raced or shown. And yeah, that was fun. In particular with number 89 here, 70089. I had written to someone at BMW, and I said, all the photos that you're offering for sale on the web are either this car or its successor. Stuck was given a different car the following year. And I says, do you have any pictures of that car? And the license plate, I knew the license plate because I had the service and repair records. And Ruth Standfuss, I believe that was her name, wrote back and said, no, we have no pictures of any other cars. Well, she said, we have one that we don't offer for sale because we can't identify the car. And she sent a Xerox copy of the photo. And I said, I'll make you a deal. I said, you send me your glossy color print, and I will tell you what car that is. And I will send you the service and repair records for that car. Because those records showed the license plate that was clearly visible in the picture and showed the serial number of the car. It was advertised in Competition Press, and it was in Phoenix. Thomas Barrett, who specialized in brokering movie star cars and very expensive classics, Duesenbergs, Rolls-Royce, that kind of thing, Hispano-Suiza. He had turned it down because it had a Corvette engine in it. And I may have been the second guy to call about it. And the fellow who had the car said, well, fly on down here. And he said, if you don't take the car, I'll pay your airfare home. So I flew down. It was $1,500. It's the only way I could afford one of these at the time. But I've spent many, many years accumulating parts. And they cost more than the initial investment. Well, I wanted to restore the car to its new condition. And there were many things that I needed to acquire, many parts: engine, transmission, dash instruments, toolbox and tools. And then, of course, someone had changed the upholstery. The interior was all changed. And it was a kind of a project that many people turned down because of the expense. I think I'd heard something about Presley. But the fellow who sold me this car is still around in the Phoenix area. And he says, no, he says, I never had an idea it was the Presley car. No, gradually I started to run across some references. And I mean, I'd see a photo caption that would say that the car that Stuck raced in 1958 had been cleaned up and sold to Presley. Well, that's hardly proof, but that puts you on the trail. Well, a few years ago, I wrote a letter to BMW, knowing that I could never afford to restore these things to the condition they deserve to be in. And I said, look, I've got these two 507s, And you appear to be in the beginning years of running a restoration facility. And I had been there, and I said, it looks more like a repair shop, you know, changing oil and spark plugs. And I said that this would be a good project, and you'd gain experience, and I would offer to accept this one back, and this one could go into the museum, where many, many more people could enjoy it. If I had a choice, I'd like to keep it, but I want to see this car restored, and all of them really, and I can't afford to do it. And so I'm happy about that. It's what's good for the car is very important. Actually, it's more special to me that Hans Stuck drove the car than that Elvis had his hands on it. I have a lot of respect for Hans Stuck. Well, I'll tell you something funny about it. People say, oh, why don't you write to Graceland? Those people don't even know we had the car. They know what they read in the magazines. And so I tell them things they don't know about the car. No, Elvis never bought a car in Germany like that. That's what they'll say. I have it in writing. Yeah. Now, if I were interested in money only, I'd be making a mistake in turning this car over to BMW. But I want to see it restored. I want to see people have the opportunity to see the car. And that's more important to me than me making a few $1 million. But this is timeless. This will never fade out of my mind. It's the beauty of that fender line. And it's a rare car. It's going to be restored and owned by a person right here in Peskin, which rises and then falls at the door and then kicks up a little bit for the rear fender. I think his mother was Jewish, and he got out of there. In a way, of course, the body's aluminum, and they may have to add a little bit of metal there.
Can you just pad on it like you did? Yeah, like you did. Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel that a lot of other people padded on at 60s.